This is Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community issues talk radio magazine. You can listen back to any of our episodes of Kutztown Live by going to Spotify and searching Kutztown University Radio. And now, your hosts of Kutztown Live.
Welcome to Kutztown Live here on the radio voice of Kutztown University KUR. Time for our bi-weekly guest, Lori, our guest host from the Chamber of Commerce, and her host, or her guest of the week as well. So Lori, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike. As always, we're pleased to be here with another Chamber member interview from the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce. Before we interview our guest today, Marie Smith of Smith Enterprises, I'd like to do a little commercial for our upcoming virtual chamber dinner. Because of COVID-19, we have had to shift what is typically a September chamber dinner at a venue somewhere in Northeast Berks to a virtual one. So coming up on Friday, October 16th, we will be hosting our first ever virtual chamber dinner. Our dinner is sponsored by Accelerated Instructional Media, Tompkins Vis Bank, Dream Vacations, Main Street Getaways, Elite Business Solutions, Shure & Associates, Interlace Communications, and Spots Insurance Group. Our virtual chamber dinner will be hosted via Zoom, and we're very pleased to announce that our entertainment for the evening will be Without a Cue Productions from Ben Salem. So it will be a live, interactive murder mystery. Everyone who purchases a reservation will be able to pick up a takeout meal from one of 5 area restaurants. Those restaurants are Grand Central Tap Room in Fleetwood, the K-Town Pub Tap House and Barbecue, Main Street, Kutztown, Klingers at the Airport, 1787 Brewing Company, or Madeline's Fogelsville. So everyone who makes a reservation for the dinner will be able to pick up a delicious option from one of these 5 participating restaurants. You'll also receive a swag bag from our sponsors, which will be safely hand-delivered to your door. So we're looking forward to this event. It'll run from 6 to 8:30, and reservations are available right now at our website at northeastberkschamber.com. Today, I'd like to welcome Marie Smith, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. Marie is the owner of Smith Enterprises, and I don't know if you realize this, Marie, but yesterday marked your 3rd year anniversary as a member of the Northeast Berks Chamber.
Wonderful.
So thank you for joining and also being an active participant in our regional chamber. Now, Marie, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about your background in marketing, because that's what you do. And we're also going to look at how COVID has impacted every aspect of doing business, especially marketing.
Well, let's say marketing has really changed for everybody because you're not using the same things that you've used before. You know, you're not going down the, I don't want to put anybody under the bus. You're not using, we're not driving down the highway and looking at billboards as much as we have.
Right.
A lot of our friends as we know in the local area, our newspaper is not being read the same way. We're looking at that online and not getting it at our door, even though we are home. Plus, of course, we all know that we have now become a more and more relying on the internet. We are on Zoom. Doing this on Zoom, doing everything we do, every meeting is Zoom, we're online. Our marketing online, really, everybody gets to see that on a daily basis, and it's more and more ramped up in the latest, few months than it was before. We've always been visual on the internet, but now it is, I think, more important than ever to be doing that.
Why don't you describe some of your typical clients, and during these months of the pandemic, how they have adapted and some of the new ways using online techniques or platforms to market their businesses?
Well, I must tell you that my business has changed a lot, not because of COVID or anything like that, but over the past few years, I've seen my marketing clients changed to be more of business-oriented clients, where I do more with their how they're setting up their business, what they're doing with their business, because I do have that as a background as well, and that was my first background in business, in the business consulting. So the marketing end of it, I mean, I always stay involved. I'm involved in my own, and every client that I work with, whether they're a nonprofit or they're a for-profit company, I always am involved in trying to help them get something better for themselves. I know a person who does a certain thing that they're really good at. Maybe it's their, part of their marketing is their online presence with a website and SEO. And then I will direct them to people that I know that have a good reputation in that area, or someone who is really just good at anything with an online presence, whether it's building a website. We have many that, of course, are even in the chamber for all these people who do these things, online websites, everything. Those people are the people that when I'm working with a client, no matter what I'm doing for them, I am directing those to people who I know can give them a better shot at being seen and being noticed, in their marketplace.
You're consulting and you're making these very important business referrals for your customers and clients.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that's part of our job as being a good steward of business, is to always help them get the best for themselves and their business. I mean, no matter what I'm doing for them, I think it's good for me to be able to say, here's people I know that will give you, a good look at your new website that you might want to develop, or what you're producing online now as it is.
Now, when you talked a few minutes ago about your business services, and again, just referring to the last few months of COVID-19, we know that there have been a number of sources of funding available, especially to small businesses. And at times there's been much confusion about that, whether it was the PPP program or the EIDL loan through the SBA. Have you worked with any of your clients to guide them through the process of applying for this type of funding?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I have clients who have already had the relationships with SBA loans to begin with. So when the COVID hit, they were allowed to look at their loans that they had with them, and SBA was very wonderful for them, giving them more money to help them through this situation, and also giving them the opportunity to maybe not have pay their interest for a few months while they were working on, turning themselves around. And the PPP, of course, as many clients as could that I work with have all applied for the PPP loan. And at this stage of the game, we're all looking at whether it's being paid back or whether it's going to be forgiven, etc. But, that's all part of it. I mean, these things have been really great that they've been put out there. I'm actually doing a consulting job with the Redevelopment Authority of the county, and they're doing basically for the rent relief program for people who have been laid off and can't make their rent, so that the landlords can get some rent money. So there's so many things out there that are available, and I've been involved in quite a few of them, as it turns out.
You've always made contributions to the community as well. I know that this year you're now the president of the Spring Township Rotary Club.
That is true, I am. I've been involved in Rotary since 2007 because a friend of mine told me about it and said that, this is a great organization. It's all about service above self. It's not about yourself. It's about who can you help. And growing up in the the Catholic school environment, we grew up as kids, always wanting to give to others, do for others. When we were in school, my kids, there was always some kind of program going on for something. So I've always done that. And as I got older and my kids grew up, and those opportunities weren't there to do that. So it was a really nice change to be able to go and be able to help some other people. So, I look for that advantage. In fact, this weekend we were just out at the Veterans Making a Difference. Spring Township Rotary was out there, and we were serving meals to the veterans in a safe way on the outside. They came up to get their meals, but it was great, and you feel good, and they feel good, and that's what it's all about.
That is really wonderful. And of course, you're one of many of our chamber members who are actively involved in civic organizations, especially Rotary. And we have several of the Rotary clubs in Berks County also as chamber members. And so it's just a really solid organization. And if anyone's interested in joining your Rotary Club, how can they get in touch with you, Marie?
Well, they can always, contact me, and you can go online at RI International, but to find out where your local club is. But you're always welcome at any club. I know you guys had the Kutztown Rotary involved.
Yes. And also Fleetwood and Hamburg.
I was going to say Fleetwood and Hamburg are both members as well. And you can just contact them. They're all online. We all have a presence online. But anybody's allowed to call me. Call my phone number, 610-207-4151. I hope I don't get a lot of crank calls, but
I hope not, Marie. I don't think so. We have very reputable people listening to this program.
Well, that's great.
So before we close, I also want to talk about your involvement in the Pagoda Business Networking. Tell us about that organization.
Pagoda Business Network, I'll tell you what, back in 2007, because I keep going back to that, that's when I joined Rotary, that's when I kind of got involved in a lot of different networking events as well. I was going to a lot of networking. It was for a client that I was working for at the time, doing their marketing, and I needed to get them out there. And so as it moved along, I was doing a lot of chamber events. At that time, I was not involved in the Northeast Chamber, but I was involved in the Greater Reading Chamber. And I like networking. I like to get to know people. I like to find out how we can help them, and can I connect you with someone else. But as it turned out, around 2012, the networking wasn't out there as great as I had hoped. And myself and two other people, Tim Stover and David Green, we were all hitting the same networking groups. And I said, we should do something of our own, something different. And we decided to start meeting at the Pagoda here in Reading, atop Mount Penn.
Mm-hmm.
And we called ourselves the Pagoda Business Network. And I want to tell you, we've been doing it ever since. So that's 8 years. This March, we had to stop, of course. We meet on a monthly basis. It's always the fourth Wednesday of the month. And it's a different networking. It's not just hand your business card around, whatever. I like to get people involved, and we do have a presence online, pagodabusinessnetwork.com. Thank you, Freddie Vasquez, who is also a member of the Northeast Chamber. He mans our website. He puts us out there, but we just like to do something a little different. Maybe it's we might play a game, or we might do some kind of activity, because we want to know about the person doing the networking, not necessarily who you're representing. So just to make better connections.
Well, it makes sense. And we know that many of our chamber members who are small businesses enjoy the small chamber, and they also enjoy the many smaller networking groups that are found throughout Berks County. So thanks you for, starting another networking group, because it's very valuable, certainly. So in closing, let us know how we can get a hold of you, Marie, if someone's interested in learning more about your services, your business consulting, or even your marketing. What's the best way to reach you?
Well, right. I've just changed a new email. My email address is Marie, MARIE, at SmithEnterprisesCorp.com. And my phone number, which I just gave to everybody before, 610-207-4151. And online, as I said, you can contact me through Pagoda Business Network. I'm there answering all those emails as well. And be glad to help anybody who wants to talk about business, has some ideas about business, or looking to start one, or ramp it up, or anything that you're interested that might help you, that I may have an expertise in that area. I would love to help.
All right. Thank you so much. And I look forward to networking and eating in groups with you again soon, Marie.
Can't wait. So looking forward to that. And please, anytime you need anything, let me know.
All right. Thank you so much.